Chapter Review 2, question number 1. The question says solve the following equations without a calculator. Leave your answers in search form where necessary. So let's start with the first question. 1a, y squared plus 3y plus 2 is equal to 0. Very easy. Product is the constant value, which is 2. Product is 2. Sum is the coefficient of x, which is positive 3. So what are the two numbers that multiply to give us 2 and add up to give us 3? 2 ones are 2. So y plus 2 into y plus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, y plus 2 is equal to 0. Y plus 1 is equal to 0. Y is equal to negative 2 and y is equal to negative 1. That answers question A. Moving on to B. 3x squared plus 13x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now here the product will be the coefficient of x squared into the constant. So the product is negative 30. The sum is the coefficient of x, which is 13. What are the two numbers that multiply to give us 30 and add up to give us 13? So 10 and 3. But if we have the product is negative, so if I take this as negative and this as positive, then the sum will not be matching. So 10 and 3 are not the right combination. So 15 and 2, one number is negative, one is positive. The bigger number is positive. Now we can split the middle term. 13x, we can rewrite it as 15x minus 2x. So we have 3x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0. Take common from the first two, take common from the last two. 3x into x plus 5. Take minus 2 common, x plus 5. When I open this bracket back, I should get what is the step above. So for example, minus 2 into x, minus 2x, minus 2 into positive 5, minus 10. So, and also these two brackets should be identical. Now again I have two terms, one here and one here. I can remove x plus 5 common out and I'm left with 3x minus 2 in the other bracket. So x plus 5 is equal to 0. 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 5 or x is equal to 2/3. So that's our answer for B. Moving on to question C. We have 5x squared minus 10x is equal to 4x plus 3. We can bring everything on the left hand side. 5x squared minus 10x minus 4x. When the 4x from the right side of the equation goes to the left side, it becomes negative 4x. And when the 3 goes to the left side, the 3 also becomes negative 3. So now if we simplify, 5x squared minus 14x minus 3 is equal to 0. The product will be the coefficient of x squared into the constant, which is 5 3s are 15 with the minus sign. The sum is negative 14. So the numbers are 15 ones are 15. Since the sum is negative, minus 15, the bigger number will be negative. Split the middle term into minus 15 and positive 1. So 5x squared minus 15x plus x or 1x minus 3 is equal to 0. Take common from the first two, take common from the last two. So we have 5x into x minus 3 plus 1 is common in the last two terms, x minus 3. So we have 5x plus 1 into x minus 3. Therefore, 5x plus 1 is equal to 0, x minus 3 is equal to 0, 5x is equal to negative 1, therefore x is equal to minus 1 by 5, or x is equal to 3. That answers question C. Moving on to D, we have 2x minus 5, the whole squared is equal to 7. Now in this question, the factorization is already done for us, because basically when we are given a quadratic expression, we write it in brackets and we equate it to 0. Though here the other side is not 0, but what we can do here is we can take square root on both the sides. So this is an alternate method of doing 2x minus 5, the whole squared, is equal to positive or negative square root of 7. Now some students get confused. How do we get positive or negative square root of 7? So basically, if I want to get a product of 7, so I can have minus root 7 times minus root 7 to give me 7, or I can have root 7 into root 7 also to give me 7. Therefore, when I have to take the square root of 7, there are two possible roots. So when I take root of 7, I should not neglect or overlook the negative root as well. So when we take the square root, we have positive and negative value. On the left side, the square cancels the square root, and we have 2x minus 5 is equal to plus or minus root 7. Therefore, 2x is equal to 5. When negative 5 goes to the other side, becomes positive. 5 plus or minus root 7. Therefore, x is equal to 5 plus or minus root 7 divided by 2. And that answers question D. Moving on to question number 2. Question number 2 says, sketch the graph of the following equations. So here we need to sketch the graph. Starting with question A, we have x squared plus 5x plus 4. Our product is 4, which is the constant. Sum is positive 5. The numbers are 4 and 1. 4 times 1 give us product 4, and add up to give us a sum of 5. So our factors are x plus 4 and x plus 1. We got our factors. Now when we want to sketch the graph, we need to find the x-intercepts, or x-intercepts, in other words, where the graph cuts the x-axis. In order to find the x-intercept, we need to make sure that we have our y equal to 0, because on the x-axis, any y coordinate is 0. So if I take this point as 1, this is actually 1 comma 0. If this is say minus 2, this is going to be minus 2 comma 0. So on the x-axis, the y coordinate is always 0. To find the x-intercept, we equate our equation to 0. So x plus 4 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. X plus 4 is equal to 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 4. X is equal to negative 1. We got our x-intercepts, and we need to also show the y-intercept. So the graph cuts the y-axis also. So the y-intercept will be the constant here. So constant value is 4. So the graph will have a y-intercept of 4. Let's draw the sketch of the graph. So this is our x-axis. This is our y-axis. And we have our graph having x-intercepts of -1 and -4. So this is on the x-axis we have -4, 0 and -1, 0. This is the origin, so origin is 0. This is the y-axis, and as our y-intercept is 4, which is the constant, we can write y-intercept. Now on the y-axis, x is always 0. So 0, 4. And that is the sketch of question number A. Moving on to B, we have 2x squared plus x minus 3. Now here the product is the coefficient of x squared into the constant. So the product is equal to -6. Sum is equal to coefficient of x, which is 1. Sum is 1. What are the two numbers that multiply to give us -6? So they could be 3 and 2. And since the product is negative, one of the numbers has to be negative. -2 plus 3. Since the sum is positive, the bigger number has to be positive. So let's split the middle term, 1x, into 3x minus 2x. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 3. So removing common from the first two, from the last two. So we have 2, 2 is not common, just x is common. So x into 2x plus 3. Last two terms, -1 is common, 2x plus 3. And again we have two terms. From both the terms we remove the common out, which is 2x plus 3. And we are left with x minus 1. In order to find the x-intercept, we equate the y to 0. So we will equate the y, which is y is here, or we call it fx also. So we equate this to 0. We have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. X minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore 2x is equal to -3. X is equal to -3 by 2. And x is equal to 1. We found our x-intercepts, and the y-intercept will be the constant in the equation. So it's -3. So let's sketch the graph. This is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. We have our intercept at 1 and -1.5. So it's here. It's a U-shaped curve. So this is 1, 0, and this point is -3 by 2, 0. On the x-axis, y-coordinate is always 0, and the y-intercept, which is the constant, will be 0, -3. As on the y-axis, x-coordinate is always 0. So that is our sketch for question B. Moving on to question number C. We have y is equal to 6 minus 10x minus 4x squared. So this can be written as -4x squared minus 10x plus 6. Product is equal to -4 into 6, so -24. Sum is equal to -10. So 12 twos are 24. Since the sum is negative, the bigger number is negative. So we can split the middle term minus 10 into minus 12 and 2. So minus 4x squared minus 12x plus 2x plus 6. Take common from the first two and the last two. So we have minus 4 common and also x. So x minus 4 3s are 12. From here we have 2 common, x minus. Now I'm not getting a minus here. Minus 4x into x minus 3. Okay, so here is the mistake. If I remove minus 4 common out, then here minus into minus will make this plus. So this sign should be positive because minus into plus will give me minus. So correction, plus. And here when I remove 2 common out, plus 3. So just in case your brackets don't end up being identical, you know somewhere something is wrong, so you can recheck. Now I have 2 terms. From each term I have x plus 3 common. I remove it common out and I'm left with x plus 3 and 2 minus 4x. So to find the x-intercept, we equate it to 0. Now x plus 3 is equal to 0 and 2 minus 4x is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 3, 2 is equal to 4x, 4x goes to the other side. X is equal to 2 by 4 or x is equal to half. And our y-intercept will be our constant, which is 6. So y-intercept is going to be 6. Let's sketch the curve. We have, this is half comma 0, and this is negative 3 comma 0. And the y-intercept, okay. Now, this is a quadratic expression which has a negative coefficient of x squared. So when we have a negative coefficient of x squared, our graph is n-shaped. When x squared is positive, then the graph is u-shaped. So this graph is going to be n-shaped. So this is our x-axis. This is our graph. And it is having intercept as at half comma 0 and negative 3 comma 0. So somewhere here is our y-axis. This is our origin and our y-intercept is positive 6. So on the y-axis, x coordinate is always 0. So 0 comma 6. That answers question C. Moving on to the last question from this category. We have y is equal to 15x minus 2x squared. Again, this is a graph which has a negative quadratic because x squared is negative. So we can simply factorize this by removing common out. So x is common, x into 15 minus 2x. To find x-intercept, we equate the equation to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 0, 15 minus 2x is equal to 0. Now we have 15 is equal to 2x, or x is equal to 15 divided by 2. We found our x-intercepts. This is our x-axis, and this is an inverted graph. We have 0 as one of the intercepts, and 15 by 2. Okay, 15 by 2 is the greater point. So 15 by 2 is 7.5. So this is 7.5 comma 0. And this is 0 comma 0. And this is the y-axis. So the y-intercept is 0. And clearly we don't have a value for constant, which means the y-intercept is 0. And that answers to part D.